Howdy, folks. Um, so, I think the last thing I was sniveling about was this rock. It was very round. It stood, given the perspective, it stood sort of proud of these other rocks, and it didn't need that. I didn't want that. It came a little too far into the towards the edge of the painting too. I like the idea of releasing the eye, allowing the eye to look back into the distance, but not too much, because the painting's not about this. The painting's really about this. So, but it was a little too obtrusive. So I've toned it down now. I'm happy with it. Smaller shape, lower values, not as many harsh lines in the design. That's good. This area in this tree, I'm not convinced this trunk is going to stay. I may just have complete greenery in here. It's a small detail sitting there. I don't have other trunks showing really per se. I don't want to put dead stumps sticking out anywhere. I think I'm just going to leave it as it is. On a larger painting I might reconsider that, but I believe that's how I'm going to leave it. This tree also is going to catch some light. Some light that's splashing, up on top of these rocks, up into here. This one may catch a touch. It may not catch anything. This one might catch a touch. It might not catch anything. This tree is staying exactly the way it is. The rocks, as you can see, painted them in. They will still have some very minor adjustments, not much. Obviously, the dark areas I have not painted in yet at all. I'm not going to worry about that for the time being. It can stay. As you can see, well, they're all painted in, and I've laid some glowy bits here and there because I want to indicate that crisp spot of sunlight coming up these rocks, and as I say, splashing onto this tree a little bit. That light will continue down onto the water, and the water, sort of from here up to here, right across, there will be a slash of light that's coming directly from the right hand side and laying on the surface of the water and then coming up the rocks into this tree and joining the sky. These rocks in the foreground, as you can see, cooled off. They are I used cobalt blue and raw umber and a bit of white. The values are similar here, and here, because I did not want a big difference, between these rocks and these rocks. As we come closer into this area, you see the value change a little bit. Light's catching the far ones, but not the close ones. I may extend this light a little bit back here, but not very much, if at all. So these rocks are cooler now. So everything, more or less, from these rocks down on the water will not cast a lot of light. The sunlight's not splashing across the water here, and the reflection of these rocks when it hits the water is being blocked by these rocks. So in fact, all the water is going to stay fairly dark here. We come out here, we're not going to pick up the splash of light that's over here. We're going to reflect a few bits of color from the sky down here. The water is not going to replicate the sky color-wise. It's just going to give a nod to the sky, to acknowledge the existence of those colors in the sky, reflected a little bit in the water, in places, not everywhere. I'm ignoring all of this right now, everything from here on up. I'm going to start working in the water, and because I'm going to do that, I'm going to definitely need to revisit my notion of how these foreground rocks are. They're not at all as good as they have to be. I guess that's kind of a vague description. I like the idea of having rock coming right across the painting. That's fine. I don't mind the idea of having the rock fairly close to these rocks here. It helps to close off that end of the painting. you know, often I will say, okay, we have all the strength here, we need to balance it so we could have a rock here, you know, and then open water here. That's not the answer in this painting. It's the wrong shape. It's not sitting well with my intuition, so to speak. So I'm, you know, in painting the water, I'm also going to be designing the foreground line of where these rocks are going to sit. So I'm going to have to play with that a little bit. I don't like this dropping down like that. I don't want any of the rocks dropping down on the edge too much. I don't get the feeling that I have to change a whole lot here in the foreground. But I'll put a stroke on and sit back and look at it for a moment. Then I'll put another stroke on and sit back and look at it for a moment. By stroke, I mean a fresh outline on those rocks. So we'll see. All in all, I'm very happy with the painting. No complaints there. And hope you have a good weekend. Talk to you soon. Actually, I'll probably talk to you tomorrow. But right now I'm going to make some decisions on this water rock situation, and then I'm gonna go play like a mechanic on my motorbike. Have a good one, guys. See you soon.